Welcome back to the Don't Stop Me Now podcast, where being negative can be a good thing and being positive can turn the world around you. Hello, I am your HIV positive host, Miss Jennifer Levon, and this is episode number 125. I wanted to get on here without delay. I have some blood results that I would like to share with everybody. I've been on vacation. It's currently December 28th. And I've been on vacay from work for the last week, which has been nice. Lots of sleeping in. I lost my hard drive. I had to wait for another one to come in before I could record again. It's part of the reason why I haven't done a podcast in a few weeks. Also just lazy, also Christmas, and just the end of the year wrap up at work. And it's just been busy, and I kind of just wanted to take a break. Plus I've been sick and I didn't have a voice like 2 weeks ago at all. And then it's been better over the last like week or so, but all the other stuff was happening. So I wanted to just get right to it. I got my results. I took my my blood work, got it done on, what is today? Today is Saturday. I did it Friday. No, I did it Thursday. But before I give the results, let me just give a little backstory again for those who have not followed what I have been up to and very transparent about in recent weeks leading up to these results. So in about mid-October, I had been, I don't know what even brought it on, but I had been seeing that some people weren't taking their medication on the daily and they were continuing to stay undetectable. It made me question a lot about like dosing and how can we all be taking the same amount, and even if we're like different body sizes, maybe even gender affects medication. And they're just, scientists just say just tell them to take it every day because it's easier for people to remember every day. We are human after all, and remembering to take a pill like every other day or every third day could be very complicated and too confusing for people. So and I know that there's a half-life of medication that wears off after like 12 hours, I believe was the half-life for Dovato. Don't quote me on that. It's something like that, meaning like half of the medication is done working after 12 hours. I believe that's what it is. Something like that. Anyways, basically, which would lead most people to believe that you need to take this every day, right? But I do know other people that are doing it every fourth day or twice a week or every other day. Plus, there's a study that was done 4 days on, 3 days off that you can find online. I'll link it below. And it was successful for those patients that took it and did it in that way for 48 weeks. I believe it was 48 weeks. They stayed undetectable. So what would be the harm in me going every other day to every third day sometimes? Maybe I'd push it even a little bit and wait 3 days in between. I didn't do that all the time, but I did it a few times for sure. Definitely was on the every other day to every second day schedule for at least 6 weeks. Well, during those 6 weeks, starting in August, that's when school started to happen again. We start like mid-August until now, which is the end of December. I have had 3 colds. I know that there's been a different onset for each of these. When you're coming down with something, your body aches. It's the whole like you feel like crap, and it's your body doing what it's doing, getting ready to fight this new invader, and you feel like shit. And then about a week later, you get the junk that's coming out of your throat and all that good stuff. Well, and I'd lost my voice every single time. So much fun. I love losing my voice. So great. So fun to strain to try to just talk at all. The first 2, I can't remember. I believe it was nasal too. Anyways, regardless, I've been sick 3 times in 4 months. This last one started December 6th on my way back from Washington, D.C. I was on a flight from Washington, D.C. with my daughter, and I already knew it was happening. You can hear it in my listen. It's still there. Tried to go to the doctor today, but they had a line out the door and they told me to come back tomorrow. There's just too many people. So anyway, and sorry, I've been also putting off, doing this because I've been coughing so much and I didn't want to be coughing while I was trying to record. So anyway, I get on the plane. The freaking plane was delayed on the tarmac for an hour, which sucked because it was a 3-hour flight. So then I had a middle seat and I was already uncomfortable. My back was starting to hurt. I had no appetite at all. That's typically a sign that something's not right. And coffee did not sound delicious in the morning. That is also a very good sign that something is not right. When I don't feel like drinking coffee, something is wrong with me. So I was just feeling not so good. And I was watching the movie and I thought, well, maybe at this point, like halfway through the flight, it's just I'm uncomfortable in my seat and that's why my back hurts, my lower back's hurting. But I'm also, again, feeling very blah. So, of course, I start thinking, well, I've been doing this for 6 weeks now, the medicine thing, the on and off. God, am I slowly creeping into an AIDS diagnosis? It seemed very unlikely because how could I go from undetectable in 6 weeks to an AIDS diagnosis? That would mean that my viral load would have to have spiked and my immune system would have been attacked to a point of coming down from like a 600 and something CD4 to under 200. But that's how my body felt when I was going into my HIV AIDS diagnosis. I felt run down. My body hurt. And I thought, and I hate bringing this up, but I was dealing with BV. So for those that don't know, BV is bacterial vaginosis. Typically that is common when you've been with too many partners in too short of a time, and it throws off your pH balance and you end up with a smelly, you know what. And you can tell, like women that this happens to, you go to the bathroom and you're like, oh, something is not right. It's a very easy fix. It's this clear gel. You just squirt it up there and it goes away. Well, I had not been with anyone since September. And I had a little bit of a reoccurring problem. Ironically, though, and I know it had to have been this because I looked it up online and it said if it's, this is, please do not tell me I'm gross or anything. It's like I really thought about should I share this part, but I'm trying to be super transparent to help people understand why all of this was going through my head and why I went back to everyday treatment. It was greenish and it didn't smell. It didn't smell. That was the weird part. But when I got up, whenever I would like stand up, I'd feel this little bit of a gush. And I was wearing mini pads. And then I'd look and I'd look at the mini pad and there'd be like a puddle of this, like, it was like opaque greenish. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? So I look up BV and I'm aware that it can be from multiple partners or whatever, but that was not the case. I've not been with anybody. I was on my celibate train. So I'm like, why is this happening? So of course, now I'm thinking my body is falling apart. And of course, it does say online that it could be a result of an HIV infection. That was it. That freaked me out. I read that on, I don't know if I was at the airport in between flights or something, but when I read that, I was like, is this affecting me now? Has it come back to a point where it's literally doing something to me? And it scared me. And I had used the medication. I just didn't do it enough days in a row. When I got home, I was like consistent 5 days in a row that it's been gone. It's gone. It did not come back. So I think I had just been a little too confident with the one night trying the treatment and then it didn't really go away. And like 3 days later, it'd be kind of come back. But like, where did it even come from in the first place? I don't know why my pH was off. So that with having these, achy feelings and all of that, it was like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally falling apart. Okay, I'm done. I'm doing the everyday thing. So starting December 6th, which was 3 weeks ago, I went to every day again for my pill every day. Again, just a reminder, like why I did this. I did this because there is a psychological effect of taking this medication every day where you feel like, and it was the first time I'd ever backed away from it and kind of took control of it and said, because it does, like I've explained, it feels like there's this monster behind you. And if you don't stay on top of it, the monster's going to get you. I wanted to feel in control of my body and tell that monster that it doesn't have control of me and I can still get by and survive. It's denial. And it was also just control. And it felt really good to feel like I could look in my medicine cabinet and just not take it. I don't know. I can't, unless you've been through it and you can't, I don't think you can understand it unless you're HIV positive, but you get tired a little bit of thinking that there is this I've kind of forgot my wash was going. This was a very bad time to do my wash. Hold on, let me stop it. I just realized I started that prior to doing this. Okay, so you do literally deal with this, and it wasn't something that really affected me too much mentally, but it wasn't until I pulled back that I felt this new feeling of like I was conquering something, and it felt good. It really did. It felt like, and I also wanted a supply of my medication. I only get a month at a time. This started pre-election when I started it. So I was like, there's a lot of talk of wars, and I was like, I don't have a big supply of medication. I knew someone else who was taking it every 4 days, and she had like 4 bottles of her medication. I thought, well, that's kind of nice. I'd like to have a big fat supply of my medication too. So that factored into it as well. Um, and yeah, so I decided to try it, and I decided to talk about it. I've had a lot of people tell me what I did was stupid. What I'm doing is stupid. I could become resistant to the medication and then nothing will work for me, which I was never worried about. I just read something today from in my private female group that their doctor had told them that in the last 10 to 15 years, becoming resistant to the medications isn't a thing anymore. So I don't know how true that is. I have to ask my doctor because the medication's so good today. Like you could skip for a long time and nothing would happen. I didn't know that until today. But anyway, I wasn't worried about resistance because I wasn't going and like going off for 3 weeks and then going back on for a couple days and then going off. Like I was consistently taking it every other day to every third or second day. So the medication was still being introduced into my body 3 to 4 times a week, 2 to 3, 4 times a week, depending on what I was doing. But I wasn't completely going off it. So I don't think resistance would have happened with the way I was doing it. But I did have a lot of people mad at me, and I'm stubborn. Like I'm 54 years old. Like I'm a grown woman. I can do this if I want to. I know people, yeah, we're just kind of, there were some people that were so on my side cheering me on. And they were HIV positive and they felt very much like, or not even HIV positive, Misty Diane, who were like, this is her body. Let her do what she wants. I think what she's doing is fine. She's not doing anything too crazy. And I didn't think I was. And, so be it. Let her do it. Jesus. So that was, that kind of kept me going. But when I got the double not feeling good and the BV thing, I was like, okay, I don't like this. I think maybe it's time to stop. So from the 6th until just Thursday, I was taking it every single day again. So I got my results yesterday for my viral load. My viral load was, dun, 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 drum roll, please. My viral load was 36. So 36 is still undetectable. It's not my normal undetectable. My normal undetectable is basically 0. My labs are, my doctor would like to see 20 and below for me. That's what she likes for undetectable. If I wasn't maintaining a 20 and under, like mine is 0. Like mine comes up and says not detected. That's the same as 0. I don't even get a 2, a 3, a 4. I don't get that. I get like not detected. It does not find it. It looks like I don't have it. It's the same result as somebody who doesn't have HIV. And she prefers, again, anything under 20 because we have that technology with our labs to see, like that low. Other countries go with 50 and below. Somebody just wrote to me today and they said in the UK, their doctor would go with 140 and below. I know in like parts of Africa, they go with 200 and below. For U equals U, what they say is 200 and below will not transmit HIV. Technically, that is very, very, very conservative. The number is much higher, where transmission would never happen, closer to like 2,000 or like roughly around there. Like nothing's going to happen. But it's the government that's, on board with this. Again, I've talked about that a million times. So they have to keep that number really conservative, and they say 200 and below is safe. It can be higher and nothing's going to happen. Again, I'm a woman, so 500,000 I exposed somebody to and they were negative. So Anyways, 36 isn't alarming at all, but it does prove that I did go up and I didn't stay undetectable. I didn't stay at my normal not detected. Where it went, I will never know. I don't know if I got up to like 1,000, 300, 200. I have no idea. So I will definitely have to have a conversation with my doctor next Friday, this Friday coming up. She's going to question whether I missed some pills or not. I'm going to be honest. I'm totally going to tell her what I did. I'm going to tell her why I did it, how it felt really good to not do it every day. It was the first time I'd ever done that. I wondered where it would land. I won't do it again. And, I'll tell her everything. I'm not going to make anything up. I'm not going to make up any stories because I want her honest feedback too, and she's very conservative. She would have never been okay with this. I know that's for sure. But she's also not going to be mad at me. She knows I've been very good and she knows that I will be good. I think her main concern is that I don't promote it to people that follow me. That could be dangerous. That's her worry. So when I went into this, I've been very, again, super transparent about it all. And like, I wasn't going into it saying, I know for sure the results are going to be undetectable. I didn't know where they would be. So I am technically I'm undetectable, but I'm not at the 0 or whatever. So I waited for today to do the podcast because I was waiting for my CD4 results. So the CD4 results came in and these were shocking. I'll be honest. I really, really thought because I'm sick right now or fighting something off, I do have green stuff coming out of my lungs when I cough really hard. And that's been going on, for the last at least 2 weeks. It took a week to build up the green stuff, which is always fun. But I really assumed I wouldn't have been surprised if I was near 200. I was like, with the whole BV thing, the cold for the last 3 weeks, I'm like, it's gonna be low. I was in the 600 range last time, and I thought I've probably blown that whole lovely range that I was in, and it's probably really low. Well, I was at 640. Like, what? I'm in the middle of this cold. And it's 640. I think that is the high. No, I think one time I hit 800. I can't be totally certain. I don't want to look it up right now, but 640 is not my norm. Like no, I think I did hit 640 somewhere. Maybe I hit 700 at one time. I don't know. But anyway, it's good. It's good. My immune system is fine. So, which tells me that my viral load never got to a point where it was affecting my immune system. That's for sure. So my viral load never went up high enough. Does that make sense? Never got up high enough to do damage to my immune system. That was never happening, which leads me to believe that my viral load never got up that high. So anyways, that's it. I don't really have much more to add to it. I'm glad I did it. I won't do it again. I'm really looking forward to the technology that they're working on at the moment where it's once a week. Basically, you probably get like a little bit bigger of a dose on that time that you take it, and then it's a time release for the next week. So they're working on that technology. And from what I've been told, it will be your medication. It won't be like a different medication. Like they're going to make that technology for Dovato. They'll make it for Biktarvy. They'll make it for Jaluca or whatever it is. So that's what I've been told. That was through somebody who has HIV. That's what their doctor told them. It's not something I've looked up. That's what I've heard through that means of communication. So yeah, that's about it. But it's funny. I've got, I still get people that like have shamed me. Like I know they don't think they're shaming me, but they come at me. Like I had somebody who told me that, please don't ever do that again. Like that's very dangerous. You could have become resistant. And for all the reasons I explained earlier, I wasn't worried about becoming resistant. And I tried to explain to her why I wasn't worried about that. And that there's also this study. So she came back and said, well, I'm aware of all of these studies. And I still think that it's something you should discuss with your doctor and all the things. And also added in there something to the effect that, as somebody who's been treating this for 28 years, like they felt that they knew more than me. And I'm like, what is this all about? What is that? Why is there, like, I think I know more than you because I've been doing this for so and so more years than you, or, X many years more than you have. That doesn't make you an expert, and it doesn't make you right. And it doesn't mean that you have any power over what I try and do. And again, I did not have to share this information with anyone. I did this experiment to be completely open with everybody, to be vulnerable and see where I ended up. And yeah, it was just, and so yeah, I'm in some ways, I feel like the people that were against me doing it were right. I didn't end up undetectable, as so to speak, at my normal 0 undetectable. But again, I didn't do anything damaging. Like, right, I'm good. So I'll just keep taking my medication every day, and yeah, and I'm sure by the next time I get my blood drawn, it'll be down to a complete undetectable status. Trying to think if there's anything. This is such a short podcast, but that's all I really wanted to talk about on this one. So I think I actually will stop it there. And yeah, I hope you guys are all having a nice holiday. What do you call it? What's the right word? Christmas, New Year's, holidays, and a Happy New Year, because that is in the next few days. I'm off to my son's basketball game tonight. Ironically, he's playing against, they're playing against Half Moon Bay, which is a school that was kind of like sort of near where I grew up. And their center is also an Owen, and he's also 6'8". Crazy. So that's tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. Ooh, the sun is blinding me. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you guys have a good one. I'll come back sometime after the new year with maybe something more interesting, but I just wanted to at least let everyone know the results, and yeah, wish everybody the best. Okay, ta-ta for now. Bye, guys.